Hello viewers and welcome to another episode of Lancer Custom Werks, where I will be discussing the various mech builds you could make and play with Lancer. This will also be the first of the Encore episode, where old frames are revisited to see if new official weapons and systems will bring them some new updating to their builds. Anyway, in today's episode, we gonna be talking about the first half of the IPSN core series, featuring Blackbeard, Nelson, Drake, and Lancaster. Blackbeard is gonna chokeslam you at the speed of slaughter and kill everything else just fine even when suplexing someone, especially when suplexing someone. Brawler is a no-brainer talent for Blackbeard, same goes for combined arms for that sweet soft cover which you will need. Blackbeard is of course, a striker through and through, but let's take a look at what kind of new builds people made for it anyway. There is no secret, is a SEKHMET Blackbeard with Tempest charged blade and Terashima blade. There is no secret indeed, Tempest for armor piercing raw damage, and Terashima to switch things up as needed, with Pancrathy to get you to move fast. No matter what you do, that's gonna be a lot of damage. Jason 5016U is a Blackbeard that will chase you endlessly, with reinforced cabling to swing around, JK1 for ninja shenanigans, and Kraul rifle for boost straight for your target, which, by the way, is a CQB weapon, so Vanguard works with it and can pull anyone nearby prone so they can't ever escape from you. This is my era, is a half-kobold Blackbeard that can create terrain and explode them at will, knocking everyone around, but the most important aspect of this build would be Spaceborn. Not only can you now control which direction you get knocked back with, hitting anyone with melee makes them worse at passing most checks and saves that involves movement, and guess what saves this build likes to force upon people. Needless to say, that talent is important in transforming the Blackbeard. Out of Spite is a Blackbeard more about battlefield control, mag cannon, and Ferrous lash to pull people around, heavy gunner HMG to suppress people, and can still grapple people tightly to explode them with Bristlecrown. Nothing new here, but it's a good reminder of what Blackbeard can do besides close quarter quartering. Excuse me, I'm trying to chokeslam this child, is of course, a Half-Zheng Blackbeard. You might even have seen this build dozens of times before watching the very first episode of the series because it's just effective. Both frame likes to chokeslam people a lot, but what really makes this build works is that Blackbeard can perform reaction even while grappling people. It can use prospector talent to pull a poor child into the ether and then brutally murder them. BAMF is a half-white witch Blackbeard with dual Ferro fluid lance that can actually be used while SEKHMET is on to immobilize everything around it for its allies to destroy. Add in Titanomachy and Duelist combo, and this thing can really keep enemies from moving. It also has Iconoclast, which combo well with SEKHMET as it means when it's active, you going to shoot death beam at people every turn for free, it's just more free damage. Finally, Icebreaker is a Blackbeard with blink space tunnel to taxi the whole team to the front line because a Blackbeard is gonna be right on the very edge anyway, with Juggernaut and Pancrathy to ram right through most obstacles, and Unicomp plus ERM to keep you safe when things get too hot. I truly adore Blackbeard in every sense of the word. I just love how brutal this thing is. It's just such a fun frame to go around if you like to suplex people straight to the 9th level of hell, it's just great. Next up, Nelson. Compared to Blackbeard, Nelson can practically dance around the battlefield with its straight skirmisher. It also like to use skirmisher, the talent. This is not confusing at all. You also want to move fast in Nelson anyway for a bigger concentration of damage, but you can always just spam as much power fisting as possible if the enemies have no armor or you just don't care. Now, let's take a look at its new builds. First of the build is of course, it's a Nelson with a thermal charge opcal combat drill. The plan is simple, use hunter and throwing knife to get close and strike a hit on the target to trigger Spaceborn, use Kraul rifle to get even closer, knocking target prone, and also get free boost for more damage, then you start drilling for maximum damage, have fun. Relativistic Blitz is a stupidly fast Nelson with integrated nerve weave, ace, Pancrathy, ramjet, JK1, and also burst jet, so this thing can not only move through the entire map at an insane speed, it can also practically fly through it, and then you hit the target with Terashima for big damage or whatever. It's probably unsurprising that Atlas works so well with Nelson, what's with the mobility and having a really good main melee stick. Spicy Noodles is a Nelson with a burning stick. This thing wants to maintain its heat at danger zone level to sustain peak damage level, which it can easily do with Deep Well plus Black Thumb Technophile combo, and it can certainly hit hard with a torch boosted all the way to 5d6 damage, plus everything else in a single skirmish when done right with boost. It's definitely lethal for sure. Tiger Combat Sheath is just there in case this thing got jammed. AC9 Ball is a stupid fast and mobile Nelson with max agility, 8 speed, and also skirmisher to zip around the map, plus ramjet, burst jet, and pancrathy. If you need even more mobility, much like an AC, it has sword, it has missiles, and it has an assault rifle, and if you get really hurt, ERM plus armor lock are there to help. Fist of the North Star Robotics is not even a Half-Zheng Nelson, but with how much fisting is involved, it might as well be. It's an 8-speed dodge tank, going deep into the thick of combat quickly to punch or ram someone back rapidly with Titanomachy and Duelist. With a barrage, this thing can fire 3 whole rocket fists to hopefully knock a target prone, then you can step on them and beat the crap out of them, charging up Brawler 3 knockout dice in the meantime to use on something that need to get shut down right now. Direct access is the best kind, is a very normal speedy Nelson that can also do a little hacking sometimes, or just use super thermal blade to cook up the enemies faster, and then unleash the last argument on them to cook their ass to oblivion. Can be a bit tricky to use, but it can be used to a devastating effect. And finally, 10 miles backswing, is a Nelson with Tempest charged blade. You gonna see a lot of this big stick in this episode, it just works. The trick here is that even if the enemies are apart, as a Nelson, you can move after attacking with skirmisher, as well as using JK2 to duel and add even more movement to backswing at someone a distance away with Executioner for even more damage. If that doesn't work, Vanguard DSAS will. This frame is another one of my favorite too, it's just so mobile, and engagement with an enemy is practically not a problem as the Nelson can run out of a church like it was on fire, and besides, being able to hit big damage number always felt real good, and all you need to do is run. Next up, Drake. Drake is what you can expect from converting a classic tank into a mech. It's a guy that can't be knocked around, can take explosions like nothing else, and can even turn into a bunker. It also has a shield, but let's be honest, if you are playing Drake, you are looking at the Leviathan. Unsurprisingly, Drake and many defender like it really got a big upgrade when Field Guide to KTB arrived with the House Guard talent. Being able to protect allies even a short distance away significantly increased their protective capability. It's practically night and day. Now, let's take a look at its new builds. The Trenchline is a Drake tired of waiting for people to fill in its bunker, so it makes its own squad instead, with House Guard, Argonaut Shield, and ERM. When it's being told to fortify a position, it will fortify the goddamn Waffle House, and makes the GM's life a bit of a hell to be honest. Archangel is a Drake that can fly, add in Ace and Pancrathy, and it can fly down and become a piece of cover anywhere on the map. Super Thermal Blade can deal 3d6 damage here, and Auto Cooler doesn't just keeps it cool, it also attracts enemies' attention so they attack it instead of its allies. I must proceed at a reasonable pace, is a Drake with a Tempest charged blade because of course, this Drake also has 5 speed, accelerate, skirmisher, hunter, and pancrathy to actually haul ass, with blink space tunnel to bring up the entire team as this thing can move fast despite acting so slow, to keep enemies from running away from it. It also has Ferro Lance and Pinning Spire to keep them down, then it can bring its blade down on them. Cobalt Velvet is a Drake with Hurricane Cluster Projector to blow everything up. It can also fire Slag Cannon off turn with Tactician 3, and then also blow up the ground anyway. Mimic Mesh is also here to actually help this Drake move to the front line faster, as long as there's an ally that can aggro the heck out of the enemies. Big McLarge Huge Fucking Explodes is a Fomorian Drake with triple Tempest drones and also Annihilation Nexus. Just sit at a place, set down Webjaw, and become an unmovable boulder covered in chainsaw that will get in the way of anything that comes even remotely close. Gutterman is a Drake with a Paracausal Leviathan, and Heatfall for easy overcharge. The danger level is at its fucking peak. It can also burrow into the ground and make tunnel with Prospector, which ironically makes it even faster, so it's surprisingly mobile too in a sense. Finally, there's Diggy Diggy Hole, another half-white witch Drake, but this time focused even more on defense, with Sympathetic Shield to take even more hits for allies at a distance, Prospector to keep up, and Retort Loop to charge up all the damage and turn it into murderous pain for the enemies. It's slow, it's tough, it might not look like the greatest thing in the world, but it can certainly outlast most other things and help its allies in doing so too, and besides, a Gatling cannon is always the best thing to have around. Finally, let's move on to the Lancaster, which is very funny because we just talked about its alt frame like a short while ago. Lancaster, the repair taxi bus that cannot be set on fire. Its most notable feature is its 10 repair cap that can be used by other players too, and its license is full of excellent repair and support tools. That's about it really. Combat repair is basically useless considering a fully destroyed mech has basically nothing to help, and while the latch drone is the only mean to actually heal someone in combat at range, it can miss, making it quite useless for anything with more evasion than a literal rock. Anyway, let's take a look at some of its new builds. Walking Fortress is a Fomorian taxi Lancaster with House Guard, which significantly increase the level of protection available to its passengers. Add in Argonaut and hyperdense armor, and you got one hell of a tank that can keep its allies alive with its sheer bulk. Field Analyst is also a nice support skill to have rather than just picking Grease Monkey all the time, one that can make your ally hit better, and enemy hit less often. Southern Hospitality is a Lancaster that can only be built after Dustgrave was released thanks to super heavy mounting, which lets this Lanny carry a goddamn siege cannon. This is its one and only weapon, so you want to guard it with your life while carrying your allies around the battlefield. You've been hit by, you've been struck by, is a striker Lanny with a rather interesting combo, as you want to shoot someone with slag cannon to spawn a block behind them, then ram them into it to crush them into paste with Juggernaut. You can also just explode the terrain around you. Fun. Searing Shithound is another battle taxi Lanny that can also invade, with Beckon to gather up enemies because you ain't gonna teleport with that Fomorian ass, and Smite to instantly set people on fire, because Smite's second options heat people up the more people are around them, a perfect example of being an introvert in social situation, and you are a battle taxi that carry people on you. Go figure that out. This fully armed and operational battle bus is a battle taxi Lanny armed with a paracausal Tempest charged blade. This is gonna be the last time you will see this. With Pancrathy, House Guard, and Executioner, not only can this thing keep its allies safe, it can certainly, brutally murder anything that will try not making that a possibility. Very lethal. Your lightsaber will make a fine addition to my collection, is another striker Lanny with a combo that will cook people alive. Integrated plasma cutter with Hunter for mobility, then a full charge super thermal blade with another plasma cutter plus nuclear cavalier, will give your target a full 9 heat, enough to overheat most things, causing them to be exposed for your passenger to exploit. And finally, Everything is Fine, is a half-emperor Lanny that is of course, all about throwing overshield everywhere. Shanema and Asso with Grease Monkey for all the overshield, Field Analyst, and Sysops to support your allies in destroying your foes, adding in Speed 6 and Kai bioplating. You can go basically anywhere. Sad that you can't taxi your allies in this build though. The Lancaster is just an excellent support mech that can keep your allies well supplied in any mission type, as well as being able to move builds that were otherwise slow as hell across the battlefield easily. If you have Mule Harness, it really set a standard that all other support frames should thrive for. And that's about it for the first round of Lancer Custom Werks Encore. Once again, thank you to all of my viewers who have submitted their builds for this episode, and I hope this new season could somewhat rejuvenate some attentions towards the old frames that are still very capable in their field after so many release of new frames in the recent years. Anyway, next series of topic would of course, be the Horus, starting with Brawler, Goblin, Gorgon, and Hydra. That's all for now, and I will see you all next time. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe and click that notification bell button. If you want to see the videos early as well as further support my channel, you can join in my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.